Welcome to another installment of Forbes 2 on 2. I'm Aaron Perlut.
And I'm Jason Falls.
And Jason, of course, you and I both just got back from South by Southwest, and this is our annual, what we learned at South by Southwest. And I'll tell you, one thing that really struck me this year about South by Southwest, and this has, I think, been consistent for the other times that I've gone, is the age demographic of the attendees. And I say this in a very positive way because, you and I have both been to other conferences where they're basically filled with junior level marketing staff. And I think it's great because it gives them an opportunity to learn, but you rarely ever see senior level marketers or public relations professionals or what have you going to some of these conferences. I was very pleased to see a lot of senior level communications professionals at South by Southwest this year.
Yeah, and I was actually on a couple of those from companies here in Louisville on my flight down, and I was picking their brain a little bit to say, hey, why are you going? I mean, what's the reason? And some of them were actually going looking for new hires. Some of them were going to learn. So it's really become a conference that attracts a variety of ages, which is really, really cool and very good for a lot of different reasons. One of the big things that emerged for me at South by was it seemed like everybody goes to South by every year saying, what's going to be the next big app? What application, what program, what software, what website is going to emerge as a big deal? And it seemed like all of the ones that were struggling for that title this year, I don't think anybody won that title, were location-based apps like Banjo and Highlight that sort of serendipitously tell you that your friends are next door. And quite frankly, I think that level of applications has reached a level of creepiness that I don't think the average consumer is really going to like. I think the location-based folks are trying way too hard. Banjo was neat. I was playing with it, and it told me, hey, Aaron Perlut is next door, which meant I needed to avoid next door. But at the same time, I don't know that I want to know these types of things.
Yeah, the application thing is really interesting. And it is good to know where I am. I think it's very clear about it, only because, it might be as creepy as my mustache. One thing that I'm starting to find pretty interesting about applications is more so on Facebook applications. And that is, I'm starting to question the value of some Facebook applications only because we are becoming so dependent on our mobile devices. And right now you cannot, unless you have an application that allows you to see the Facebook application, you can't simply get to a Facebook application from your mobile device. And I think it really limits some of the value that we're getting from from leveraging and investing in some of these Facebook apps as long as we're becoming more and more mobile inclined.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with you there. There's obviously some gating that Facebook sort of does, at least with their mobile app, and I would love to see that change. I don't know that it will because Facebook, with their recent brand timeline changes, I think they're putting more of a stranglehold on what brands and companies can do and get away with on Facebook. So we'll see how that develops. Probably the other thing that I wanted to bring up, I had the honor of serving on a panel with Jeremiah Aoyang from Altimeter Group, Katie Payne, who's known as the Queen of Measurement, and Dave Evans, who's a dynamite social media thinker there in Austin. And one theme sort of emerged from that I thought was really interesting. We do a very good job as marketers right now of monitoring what people are saying online, and it's all about measuring the conversation. But the point arose, I think Jeremiah brought it out first, we have to start transitioning as marketers and as brand folks in not just knowing what people are saying, but then looking at what people are then doing and tying that offline behavior to the online conversation. And I think that is going to emerge as the next big challenge for marketers, especially digital marketers, is, okay, all these people said they bought Snickers bars today, but how many people actually did, and can we track and trace that? I think that introduces a new era of digital marketing, and the people that figure that puzzle out are going to be really successful.
Well, and I think, to me, some of this also ties back to what you were saying about the application is, what's the ROI? How are you driving revenue to my company or brand? And it's the exact same thing of what you're talking about. I mean, companies are not investing in agencies or with consultants like you and I for the sake of, hooking up with really, really good-looking people. They're doing it because they want us to either help manage their reputation or they want us to drive traffic and ultimately drive sales for them. And if you're not driving sales through some of these investments you're making in marketing, are we going to start seeing a pullback by some very large brands on these major investments they're making to the digital space?
Yeah. And sadly, this is one of those 2-on-2s where we're going to agree more than we disagree. So next time we'll talk about whether or not you're handsome. That way we can stir it up a little bit more.
Yeah, well, I think you and I both agree on that as well.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah. All right, good stuff, man. This has been yet another edition of Forbes 2-on-2. I'm Aaron Perlut.
I'm Jason Falls.
Thanks for joining us. Peace out, baby.